So what are we doing here today?
Well, we're going to put up this wonderful solar-powered dryer today.
Solar and wind.
Solar and wind,
we're
yes.
Using all of the latest
wonderful
technologies.
thing. So stage one, you know, of course, you know, take the packaging off. You know, it looks funny right here. It almost looked like, well, how is that going to work? But this just comes off. This is actually your latch that attaches to this part of it, which is once it's up, that's what the latch is for. So this is just a standard 2-inch PVC. You can buy it anywhere, you know. So if you messed one up, you know, if you over tightened it or whatever, you can go down to the store and have them cut you off a 2-foot piece of Schedule 40 PVC. No problem.
But this came with the kit.
Right. This comes with the kit. And this is the cap if you've looked at any of the other videos. And it'll go over the top of that, you know, when you go backfill it so dirt doesn't go down inside your tube, okay? So anyway, then you unpackage these little things. They're actually at the top of the box, no big deal. That goes in there like that.
Some custom molded bolts that I believe were put in a vise and crimped. Again, that wasn't something we did. They came shaped just right for this. Nice little baggie with the hardware. It's
very simple, but I kind of cheated too. I actually looked at a video on it, but I thought I could help maybe a little bit.
We looked at a couple of videos, and a couple of them weren't very clear on how to put it together. Yeah. So we thought maybe we could help somebody else out by having a pretty clear one. I'm just trying to get wing nuts to start screwing on the end here, and apparently I'm not very good at that. To hold this all together. The company that makes these is based in Iowa, I believe, and they've been making them since sometime. Why can I not get a wing nut to even start on that?
I don't know.
Yeah, that one starts. I thought I knew how to screw nuts onto a bolt.
You just need to, you know, it's the righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
That's the direction I was going.
Uh-huh.
Just needed Clay's special touch.
Yeah.
Apparently.
And they do caution you not to over-tighten this because they say you could crimp the pipe. You would have to get it really, really tight to crimp Schedule 40 pipe because I could run an excavator over that and it probably wouldn't break.
But it would be a problem because this part is the ground anchor that we're putting together, and once it's in the ground, this needs to be able to slide into it, and so if this was crimped in, you wouldn't be able to get that to slide. That's why that would be a big deal.
That is correct.
So none of that's tight, but we need it up at least.
Yeah, I get it.
4 inches.
Wait a minute, just balancing it out, and then they say they want it 4 inches. You know, I guess if you really want to, you could take a tape measure.
Clay's really good at estimating things pretty much on the dot, like 4 inches or 2.5 feet.
That's 3. Let's see how good I am. I'm going to just guess.
Because when I say something's about so much, it's somewhere in the neighborhood.
My guess is that's 4 inches right there. We'll see. Almost 3 3/4. So they say to go 4, which is fine. Right there's, well, maybe a little more.
I don't think it matters if it's slightly.
It doesn't matter. This probably works the best to actually hold it. And this part will be buried, you know, right in the ground. The top of this will be flush with the ground surface. And then this locks it in so it can't, the tube itself can't spin, or it's going to give you more stability this way.
Just turn around so you can see all the parts. And it looks like a propeller on a boat from this angle or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Now you probably want to finger tighten that up a little more than my strength. I think what they're trying to do is caution you out putting an electric driver on there and cranking it so tight you fold the pieces together.
I think you would have to do a lot.
I don't think you could do it by hand.
But you can test run it here, and of course that certainly hasn't crimped on there, and I think I have a pretty strong grip, just FYI, and I'm still going to put a pair of pliers on it.
And then this little cap keeps us from accidentally knocking dirt in the hole, both while we bury this base, and if you do what we will probably do here in the winter, which is, you know, in the winter, dry our clothes like you saw in the laundry video on the little racks by the wood stove, so we won't be using this in the deep snow, so we'll probably pull this out just to prevent excessive weathering where our winters are so long and so snowy, or snow weight accumulating on it. So probably in the winter we'll drop this cap, which apparently I need Clay's hand strength to shove in there back in the hole, so we won't remove the buried part, but we'll just pull the wash line off the top. But that will keep snow and mice and dirt and whatever from filling that up and being a problem the next spring.
So I actually elected to, I kind of know what a bolt can take because I do this kind of stuff all the time, and I don't think I'm overstressing the bolt, but I want them to where I can't any longer turn them by hand, but I'll still check this. That slides in there effortlessly, and that's with using a pair of pliers to actually tighten them a little bit, so I'm not sure that's an issue.
Can you have that in? That's stiff for my hand.
I don't want it in right now.
I figured before we forgot and ended up with dirt shoved down in it, that might be important, but if it doesn't need to go in yet, then...
Well, getting it out might be the bigger issue. I think what I'll do is put a little...
latch on it?
No.
Pull cord?
A little bit of petroleum jelly.
Yeah. And it does come with instructions here that seem pretty clear, but pictorial video stuff is easier to follow. That's why we looked up several people's videos of all the steps of how they do this. And a couple of them were slightly confusing. So we'll see if we can make a not very confusing one. This is exciting. I've wanted to have a wash line again for many, many years. Long before I had the tiny house, when I had a roommate and we shared an apartment, there was, you know, that we were just renting, there was HOA rules that said wash lines were illegal, which is the case in a lot of the states, which is silly. We actually strung one up inside our garage because nobody could see in there. So we strung it right over our cars and hung laundry on that. But I've wanted an outdoor one again for a long time, and now we're about to have one.
And this will, just for the sake of the video, I don't know if you can see this. This is the extension pipe that goes. This is the 13 or 14 foot one.
Now we can see the end.
And it'll slip in there like that. We're not going to leave it on there, but it'll slip in there like that. And you've got a lock pin here, like that. And
I believe if you get the smaller model, there's not that second extension.
You don't get that with the smaller model. And then this is your foot latch, which goes on the pipe like that. That'll be there. And basically, you tighten that, and this gives you a place, so because it sits in here loose, it sits inside the tube, you know, just free. This keeps it from going too far. You can adjust the height of the deal with this, and then tighten that bolt. So
to kind of whatever height's comfortable for you to hang wash at.
Can they see that on there?
Yep.
So if we pull that off like it was going in the ground, it'll set like that, going inside the tube, and figure the, you know, so this will be right at the ground level, this piece, but you can adjust it, you know, if you want it, you know, by raising this up, this brings the whole thing down. Maybe it's too tall, but you can go anywhere you want on that, and it'll still hold it. I think if you were at least halfway down the tube, it would still successfully hold this up. But you wouldn't want to go too far, because then you're going to risk busting off the top of the PVC tube in a windstorm.
They say to make sure at least 8 inches is in there, and that's way more than 8.
Yeah.
So we'll just see how tall it is and where the comfort level for hanging wash is when we get that in the ground. Okay. So is our next step to go outside and dig a hole?
It is.
Right about there?
I think so.
Good to me. So I think you could dig this hole, the whole hole, with just a shovel, right? If you wanted to. I mean,
you could.
We saw other people do that if you have just a shovel. Since we have fairly rocky ground, we've also got a rock bar here. And as it gets a little deeper, we have a post hole digger, because those are tools we already have. This will give you a little idea of how thick this sod is. This is unrelated to laundry or wash lines. This is all quackgrass, because all the grass on this property pretty much is quackgrass. And Clay can put a good bit of force on a shovel. I can't get a shovel through that root mass.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
You can see even with him, it's, you know, it's some work to get a shovel carved through. They make a solid mat of roots on the surface. But if you watch our videos, you're probably tired of hearing about quackgrass. We are too. It just kind of has taken over our lives.
Yeah. Okay. Looks plenty big right there.
So.
All right.
This is his department, digging holes. Not something I'm very good at. And as far as the location, the main choice of this location right now is because it's out of the way of other things like doing a house foundation here eventually. With this design, we don't need to pour concrete or anything. But it's breezy off and on out here, so hopefully the audio is working. We may, at some point, move this closer to a house when we have it done, or I may just stay here forever. But either way, we didn't want it in a spot where I couldn't hang laundry through the summer because it was in the way of house construction. So this is an out-of-the-way spot at the moment. There is some topsoil in the property, and then there's pretty much gravel for 400 feet or so straight down.
Yeah.
We're on top of a alluvial fan, I think. As you see the mountains behind us, we're on the valley. We're still high, and this is where a lot of water settled out, sediment, and so there's a lot of gravel. Anything that lets you hang a wash line up to dry laundry is fine. The kind I grew up with were the old like T posts on the ends and 3 or 4 lines strung back and forth. And I don't mind those, but they do take up a little more space than this. And they generally have to be like concreted or something into the ground on the ends to keep the tension of the wash lines from folding them in. And where we wanted the option to not do that and to maybe potentially change the location in the future, we decided this would be better. And went with the, I think they call it the deluxe model, just the big size. So I should be able to do a couple loads of, say, sheets at the same time and hang them on there, because that's the thing that is challenging in the winter. The little folding racks are very nice for drying clothes, but something the size of a sheet is a little hard to hang out nicely in front of the wood stove. We've done it, and it worked. It just wasn't the easiest.
I'd like to have 6 inches of gravel underneath it.
A little bit more.
We're close right there. If I just clean that out and then fill it with gravel, I think it'll be fine.
And the reason for putting gravel in the bottom is
so that when water gets in that tube, which like in the springtime you're going to get water from snow and ice, it's going to drain in there no matter what you do. And even with the pole in there, water's going to run down the pole every time it rains, and you got to have a place for the water to go. So you create a void at the bottom of gravel, and it'll allow for that amount of water to dissipate.
Because where we do have topsoil, it's very, very heavy clay. This is pretty dry, so it's coming out a little powdery, but if it gets wet and then dries, it turns into like a impenetrable cake, like a terracotta pot.
Yeah.
Which does not drain.
This is deeper topsoil than most places on the property, actually.
Yeah.
I am finally getting into a little bit of rock. But
it's a little crazy because a lot of spots around this place you can go, say, that far down and you're through topsoil and into gravel. Apparently this random spot where we haven't dug a hole yet, there's more topsoil. Though there's still rocks in the topsoil.
Yeah.
And I'm really thankful for this guy's digging skills, because I probably could get a hole, but it'd probably take me a week to make a hole like that by myself.
We are in the gravel there.
So anything below that really should drain.
Yeah, for the most part. As long as we don't leave any of that clay down there. But you see, it's primarily coming up with straight gravel now.
Yeah.
Now we'll pour a little gravel in there. Give it a place to go.
And what would happen if the water couldn't drain away?
Well, if it actually got stuck in the tube, and then in the winter time it would freeze and expand, and it would blow apart the PVC pipe.
At least in our climate, where to dig below frost line, you've got to go down how many feet?
6. Well, 4 feet for most years, and but 6 feet if you're going across the driveway. You want to be at least 6 feet down, and even at 6 feet, you want to put 2 inches of blue board over the pipe.
If it's going to be a clear spot in the winter, like a driveway. We're not using it in the winter, but we don't want that tube to blow apart, so that we can use it again in the spring.
There's a nice bed of gravel. Where's my pipe? I'm gonna have to shuffle it around it a little bit, but pull the cap off. Like thusly. Okay.
Just stabilizing.
So now I want to create a little bit of a hole. Now, where's my level?
Yeah, here.
Yeah. See, they say flush with the ground, but I'm going to go from natural ground. I'm going to go just a little above, and in doing so, the chance of water just running in there is a lot less. That make sense?
It does. If you're putting in the center of a manicured lawn that you wanted to mow really short, that might be a problem, but that's not what we have here.
Okay, so now let's put a little bit of dirt around it.
Some of that most gravelly dirt toward the bottom.
Yeah. There's plenty of gravel in there anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. But
Obviously, if it's not straight in the ground, then your wash line, by the time you stick it on here, is going to be at some funny angle, which will make it hard for it to support laundry and not blow over in wind and all that good stuff.
Yeah. What I like to do is get an initial set where it's pretty rigid, and then I will fine tune it with the level. Now, make sure it feels solid as Sears used to be. That's absolute perfection. Now let's go ahead and put dirt in there.
I've had to tease Clay that he can't say something solid as Sears anymore when the company's defunct.
Yep. Can't even say wards. They're all gone. Monkey wards and Sears. Blondie, wanting.
You're a little bit in the way, honey.
Yep. It's always a good sign if you can get all your dirt back in the hole.
After you took the sod out and then added 2 buckets of gravel?
Yep.
Should mean it's pretty compacted.
Yep.
Almost 200 chickens running around the property, but Blondie's the only one that likes to come see Clay when he's working on projects.
She's pretty sure I got
the best yummy things you dig up.
Good food here. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I left just a little teeny bit sticking up right here, so any water that might be on the ground surface isn't gonna just go down there. Now, you saw the bed of gravel that's down there. We put about 8 inches of gravel down at the bottom of the hole, and it's you know, pretty clean gravel. There's no dirt in it, so it'll drain very well. So when that's out, of course there'll be the plug in there, but even with the plug in there, you still could get water. So try to prevent, you know, everything possible from happening. But I think we covered it.
Now we just got to go get the rest of it.
Yeah.
Tried really hard not to get these ropes tangled up.
I think we got to take this off.
Okay, too. And lift this up, kind of like the reverse of an umbrella.
You're supposed to put your foot on that.
Double check that nothing's wrapped around the tip in a way it shouldn't be.
Keep going. They shouldered them the second hole right there.
Okay, then that catches. Double check none of the lines are tangled. Looks good to me.
I don't know if I got it. Does it need to be that tight, or should I be on the other one?
No, there's still plenty of flex.
Is it?
On the lines. Well, they're pretty taut, which is perfect for hanging stuff. We got a new wash line.
Yes, you do.
Good thing we're not little kids. I'd be tempted to hang on and ride in a circle like a merry-go-round.
That's it.
There you go. Another serious advantage, of course, is there's no lint to clean, no chance of a fire created in your house by a blacked up dryer vent or any of those things. So I really like our new dryer setup. If you want a full breakdown on how we actually do our laundry with this non-electric hand washing machine, I have a video detailing lots and lots of that. But what I am doing here today is 3 very full loads in there, and you know, wash. Actually, we have a lot of dirt on our clothes at this time of year, so a second wash and then a rinse. So I did quite a bit of laundry because I hadn't done any in a while. And the little cart held it all, which was wonderful. And after getting it on the line, as you'll see at the end, it actually dried faster than I could have possibly dried 3 loads of laundry in an electric dryer. So that's been really handy. But yeah, if you want lots more details on this washing machine itself, check out the video on that. I try to have things in playlists, whether you're watching on Odyssey or Rumble or YouTube or wherever. And all the videos are also in chronological order, just under the videos tab on any of those places. And the one about this washing machine is, I don't know, not very many videos before this one. So there is info on that, but I really like this whole laundry setup. It's very smooth, very easy, and there's pretty much nothing to break or fail. No part of it requires any electricity like much of our lives, and it's probably my favorite way to do laundry. And as I discussed in the video on the washing machine itself, I've used a lot of different washing machines and dryers that are, you know, electric and very brand new and so on, and I don't really like any of them. This is far superior in my mind. So as you can probably see, this thing's super easy to move. You can spin in the breeze. I find it very, very easy to use. Like it a lot. It's our first time of use. Should be many, many more over our lifetime. And I gotta say, this little laundry cart, which is not what it was sold for, it was like a beach cart or something, if I remember. I'll link to it down below, but it folds up. But anyway, it holds all the laundry, and it's got like all terrain wheels, so it rolls around really nicely on our rough ground here. It's very easy to wheel it out here and pretty much stand wherever you like and hang up all the laundry. Now, as far as size, if I was doing sheets, which I'm not doing today, I'd probably use these outside 2 rungs for sheets. That would work quite well. And sounds a little slippy. And it holds, that's like a month's worth of laundry for our household. If you're curious about how we actually wash our laundry, I have a whole video just on that. But it does not require any power either. When I said that was like a month's worth of laundry, and I didn't even have all the loads in there, but someone said, wow, you must wear your clothes more than once. Yes, a lot of the outside stuff we do. Like, you know, a work shirt and pants if you were just weed whacking or cutting firewood or something like that. If you're doing it one day and you're going to do it the next day, you're usually just covered in like grass or sawdust, and you will be covered in grass or sawdust 5 seconds after starting the next day. So we usually just hang clothing like that up, you know, in the shop for the day and use it until you're done with that project. So that does reduce the amount of laundry. But anyway, I'm really happy with my new wash line, and yeah, if you're, I know followers in Europe are probably much more used to hanging wash up, but very few people in the States seem to do that anymore. But especially with this breeze, this stuff's going to dry really, really quick, and highly encourage you to check this out, or any kind of wash line. But I really like this one. I think this is going to be lovely. My only complaint is that in this size, they made these wood bars orange Orange is just a color I really don't like, as you can tell probably by looking at our laundry. I like neutral colors. The dark green that they have on their smaller size is much better. I would have liked that, but they only offer each size in each color. But if I was really picking, I would make them brown or black or dark gray or something like that. So sometime eventually in the future, I'll probably have to untie all the wash lines and paint them, because it will annoy me every single time I look at this orange thing in my yard. But other than that, which is fairly minor complaint, and mostly my hang up on aesthetics, that I hate, you know, colors like orange and red. They look bright and angry and annoyed to me, and I like my yard to look peaceful. Other than that, really happy with it. And just in case you're wondering, and of course this would vary with the weather, but on this day, these 3 loads of laundry were almost all dry in a little over an hour, which is much faster than an electric dryer. Thanks for spending your valuable time with us.
I hope you learned something interesting and useful.
Or found something beautiful here.